Hello, hello, hello. Let's explore 3 lesson ideas or lesson concepts I would like to show you to do with Talking Robots app, because building the robot and connecting it to the Talking Robots app and just talking with it is a nice project on its own. But what the app really gives us, what I think it's really interesting with it, it's to explore some kind of user interaction possibilities with the language models, with physical robots, and designing this part of user experience. And the first topic that I think is very interesting to explore is role-playing. The next step after the robot is finished is to add its purpose, add its personality. And we can do this by adding the system prompt here in the app. We have few examples built in, like for example, this grumpy, lazy and arrogant cat. Hello, hello, how are you?
I'm here. Just ask your question already.
What do you like to eat?
I suppose tuna is acceptable, if you must know.
Okay, and what's your favorite color?
As if I care about colors. Go away now.
And as you can see, the robot acts along with this mood you wanted to achieve. And usually the first interaction with this kind of robotic experiment is asking questions like, what do you like to eat? What's your favorite color? Where do you live? What do you like to do? And the robot answers its questions. And it is a way for us to explore the inner personality of the robot. But usually the answers we will get from the robot will be a bit boring, obvious, and bland, because the language models have a tendency to answer the most common, the most obvious answer, the most probable answer. But it is usually much more interesting if the robot is asking questions and we are the ones who are answering. This way we make the language model always somehow reflect on what we told him. It always works on our input, and this makes the conversation much more interesting. So let's test a different prompt. This time we'll tell the robot, you are a detective. You investigate a suspect who probably stole a candy from a candy store. Be very suspicious, persuasive, and stubborn. So this time it's our talking robot who has the initiative to ask our questions, and he reflects on our answers. Let's see how it goes. Hey man.
All right, young friend. I'm Detective Smiley, and I just need to ask you a few questions about the missing gummy bear.
What gummy bear? I know nothing about it.
That's interesting, because my little birdies told me you were admiring the gummy bears quite a bit.
No, I prefer candy much more.
Candy, you say? Perhaps asterisk to asterisk much candy, making you forget about a certain gummy bear friend.
I don't know what you mean.
Really? My detective senses are tingling, telling me you're holding back a sticky little secret.
It wasn't me.
If it wasn't you, then who was it, and why are your hands so suspiciously colorful?
Okay, so I think now you can see that whenever the robot has the initiative to ask the questions, to come up with some kind of new pieces of the story, we actually have more chance to get something more interesting out of it. And let's just try one more prompt. This time it's the one I actually used in the intro to the Talking Robots app video. And the prompt now goes on like this. You are a cardboard robot sidekick in a short intro stand-up sketch. Paraphrase what the human just said in a playful, slightly sarcastic way. Rules. Always respond after the human. Rephrase, do not repeat. Keep it short, one line max, tone, goofy, cheeky, teacher friendly. So the core of this prompt is here. Rephrase what the human just said in a playful, slightly sarcastic way. And this way we can achieve this comical effect where robot is a dummy that repeats not in a word by word, but always reacts to what I said before. And if we play with it, it goes on like this. Hello, hello, the circus came to town.
So, you're saying some clowns and elephants showed up?
Yes, yes, and it is a circus made of robots.
Oh, so it's not just clowns, but robot clowns.
Exactly, and they will do the tricks.
So the robots aren't just here for show, they are showing off their cool moves?
Yes, they are a little bit rusty and stiff, but they move nice.
Sounds like these robots need a good oil bath.
And we could go on like this. So, lesson idea number 1 is exploring the concept of role-playing with the robot, and not in a way that we only tell the robot who he is and we just ask him questions to explore its personality, but it becomes much more engaging when we tell the robot to reflect, to rephrase, to ask questions. Then the output from the language model becomes much more interesting. And now lesson idea number 2, and this will be playing games. And since we are working with a talking robot chatbot, this will be talking games, word games, like for example this one. We play a game. You ask me a country and I have to tell you its capital city. After my answer, always ask another question. And let's test it. Hey, I'm ready to play a game.
Okay, I'm ready too. You ask me a country and I'll tell you its capital city. What country do you want to start with?
Oh, and as you can see, he got my prompt wrong. He thinks that he is answering and I should be asking him questions. Let's see if we can correct this. No, it's you asking the questions, the riddles, and I am answering.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I understand now. Okay, let's play. What is the capital city of France?
I think it's Paris.
That's right. What is the capital city of Japan?
I think this one might be Kyoto.
Not quite. The capital city of Japan is Tokyo. What is the capital city of Canada?
That's a hard one. Give me a hint.
Okay. It's a city that starts with the letter O. What is the capital city of Canada?
Okay, and so on and so on. As you can see, he understood when I corrected him to perform better for the rules I expected. He's able to recognize if my answers are correct or incorrect. And also I could ask him for a hint if I didn't know the answer. And this is the magic of working with new modern chatbots, AI language models, because I didn't mention the hint functionality in my system prompt. It's an obvious, like regular conversational thing that could happen in this kind of a game scenario. And the chatbot already understands what do I mean. I don't have to specify anything precisely. I just needed this one little short sentence to build a robot that actually plays a geography educational game with it. So this is the new way of coding. Maybe not coding because we are not writing code here, but we are programming the robot to do specific function. And this time it is playing a game with us. Let's try another game, and this time we play a game. Give me two one-digit numbers and I have to multiply them. After my answer, always ask another question. Let's test it. Hey, give me two numbers.
Okay. What is 3 multiplied by 2?
I think it will be 6.
That's right. What is 4 multiplied by 4?
And so on, but let's reset the game. I restart the app. And now look what happens with a fresh start. Hello, I'm ready to play the game.
Okay, let's play. 2 and 3 is 6. What two numbers should we multiply next?
And as you can see, again, we have the same problem as with the capital cities game. He thinks that I should tell him the numbers and he will be guessing. So it seems that he doesn't get exactly what am I asking him to do. And this is actually the thing we want to learn here, is to adjust our system prompt to make our robot adhere to what we expect him to do. We program our robot by this system prompt to do some specific operations. Play a game with us, role play something, and the quality of the execution of this task depends highly on our prompt, and we have to tweak it, check it a few times to achieve the best quality. So this playing game scenario is a nice exercise to test our new skills of how to program an AI robot to do specific tasks. So right now our robot doesn't understand precisely who asks the question and who answers. So let's specify it. Let's add one more thing to the prompt. I added one more sentence. It is always you who ask the numbers and I give you multiplied value answer. Let's restart our app with this new prompt. Hello, hello, I am ready to play the game now.
Great. Give me two one-digit numbers to multiply.
And as you can see, it still does not work. And I think I will leave it up to you to fix this prompt to make our guessing number robotic game work properly. And now lesson number 3, and it is a new feature I added lately to this Talking Robots app, and it is using commands. The app, the chatbot, can send command to the robot to perform a specific task. So right now I switched to the bigger robot head because it has movable eyes, it can blink the eyes, and I can teach my chatbot to use this functionality of the robot. And my prompt right now is this. You control a DIY robot. Use command blink in brackets. This is important. All commands have to be formatted like this with brackets. Whenever I ask you to blink your eyes. And take a look how it goes. Hey man, blink your eyes.
Okay, I blinked my eyes.
And as you might have seen, he blinked quickly. And how does it work? The language model simply puts this blink word in brackets into the text, into its output, and the app leaves it out from the speech synthesizer. So it is not set by the speech synthesizer. And let's just have a quick look into the JavaScript console. Like for example, take a look what was actually being sent to the microbit. Let's test it again. And now blink twice.
I blinked 2 times.
So when our chatbot answered, we had such commands being sent to the microbit. First one was talking start, then the command blink, and it was repeated twice, blink, blink, and then the words that were said by the speech synthesizer to synchronize our robot's mouth, and talking stop command in the end. And of course, the robot has to be pre-programmed to understand these commands. So let's take a look how it's done on the microbit side. And here is the code for my robot. I communicate over Bluetooth. And here is the part about blinking, this first condition. If the received string equals blink in the brackets, then perform some kind of action. Of course, this can be anything. In my case, the blinking the eyes is controlling these two servos. Set them servo on port S4 and S5 to 180 and 0, wait 200 milliseconds, and then turn them into different positions. So whenever the microbit receives a text from the app, it checks if it contains any specific function, and if it does, it performs some functionality, and if not, then it performs this speech thing. It takes the syllables from the words and claps the mouth as many times as there are syllables in the word. So to program any functionality in our robot and use any command, we simply use these simple conditions by putting any robot, any word in the brackets, and then look how easy it was in fact to teach the language model to use a command to blink robot's eyes. We simply tell him what's the command name, and if it's some kind of a straightforward that the robot is able to understand it, then he will go along with it flawlessly in the conversation, and it is very easy to use. Let's test it again. Hey, blink twice if you like being a robot.
Beep boop. I like being a robot.
So we used commands to add blinking functionality to our robot head, but let's take this concept even further, because talking robots doesn't exactly have to be robots with eyes and a mouth to talk and clap. It can be anything, like for example this smart house model with Calliope mini board. It has automatic door and automatic lights, and I can use this talking robot app as an interface to control my smart home. Let's take a quick look how it is programmed on the microcontroller. So here's my code for the Calliope mini board, and in a similar way you see that it receives the data from the Bluetooth, and if the data is a command open door, then set servo to some specific position. I know that it makes the door actually open, and if the command is close door, then set the servo to a different position, which actually means that the door will be closed. And here I have two more commands. Lights on turns on the lights with the NeoPixel module, and lights off turns it off. So very simple conditions, and each command can be named however I want it to, as long as it is in brackets. And now let's test it in the Talking Robots app. Let's connect to the microcontroller and test this prompt. You control a DIY robot smart house. Use command open door and close door in the brackets to operate automatic door, and lights on and lights off to control the lights. Let's check how it will work and if it will work. Hey, please turn on the lights.
Okay, the lights are on now.
And like this it worked at the first test. You see that it output the command lights on in the brackets, and the lights turned on my smart house. I think I left the door open. Please close it.
The door is closing now.
I think I'm going to bed. Can you do something about it?
Nighty night. Lights are off.
And again, look how fluent the conversation is, how seamless is the integration of the commands in the process. I just said I'm going to bed. I didn't explain what it means exactly, and he was kind enough to turn off the lights because he understood the context of what I might have been asking for in fact. So to sum it up, we can use specific commands to control the microcontroller board. The command can be whatever word, as long as it is in brackets. And then in the system prompt, in the personality prompt, we simply tell the robot to use this command. And it is super easy to integrate into our robot functionality because we get the language model intelligence just out of the box. He understands exactly usually what we mean. And to use the commands, the microcontroller board has to be pre-programmed to detect them in the data it receives from the app and perform specific actions we want out of it. So this way you can add a talking voice interface to any robot and any functionality you imagine.